Welcome, everyone, to race 25 of the A Squared Cup Series season. 2 races to go until the playoffs begin. We're here at Watkins, Glen. Went through qualifying here. Josh Gaiman takes pole position. In the front row here for the Heat 1, it's Jacob Blankenship, Tom Sears on the front row, a pair of race winners earlier this season. Brendan Roberts and Brandon Fetterplace in row 2. Roberts looking for a potential race win to get himself into the A Squared playoffs here. Kevin Feemster, Ryan Pennell in row number 3. And then Jason Alexander will round out this group of 7 as we get ready to go. As everyone gets ready for this first heat race. These heat races should be in itself pretty quick. The race itself should also be quick, 45 laps here. It's a 2.45 mile road course, and we'll talk more about the details of this road course as we go along. But it's a very fast road course. You see that there's a lot of runoff here, which I think will help a lot of drivers. But it's quite a more forgiving road course than places we've been previously. So as we get ready to go here, again, it's Blankenship and Sears front row. But then you have Fetterplace, Roberts, Pennell, and Alexander and Feemster. Pace car is in. Green flag is in the air. And heat race number 1 is underway. That was Blankenship with a really good jump. Teammates the 58 and the 85. With Blankenship off with the advantage. See if Roberts can get the Sears or not. Sears driving a defensive line. Keep an eye on the 80 of Fetterplace. Sears right now sitting firmly in second. An immediate rift. Alexander's gained 2 spots. He's up to 5th. Feemster's in 6th, and Ryan Pennell sits in 7th. Everyone taking it calm these first few laps. Again, these heat races are short. A lot of these drivers kind of viewing it as a little bit extra practice time. But this does determine your starting position in the main event tonight, the Watkins Glen 110. Top three in the field, all Indy ARCS drivers. They'll be here as Sears tagged the wall, and he'll drop from second to fourth in a hurry. As I was mentioning before, Tom Sears, one of the three that are in this heat race that are from Indy ARCS. Well, really four, because Brian Pinnell's also in Indy ARCS. He'll be here next month. So they get a little bit more track familiarity. This track was recently renovated and repaved. Much more friendly curbing. Yellow and black and red curbing. Much friendlier than the white concrete curbing that we saw previously. You will see drivers attack that curbing a lot more. Sears trying to get back to third place. He's battling Roberts right now. Fetter Place is taken second. White flag in the air for heat race number one, but this battle for second is just now heating up. Sears goes way wide, but holds on to third. He can't stay on the bottom, though. So Roberts will take third place back. Sears will continue to drop time. Going through the carousel here. Carousel's been the site of many famous passes throughout the years. We're not going to see it now. Too much space. Take a blanket ship. Approaching the final corner. He'll come out of the final corner. He'll win heat race number one, and he'll put himself third on the grid for the main event. Feimster will finish in the fifth spot, and Ryan Pinnell will round out sixth. Alexander crashed and had to go back to pit lane, so he will take the seventh spot. Alrighty. Now it's time for heat race number two. Race number two. 8 cars in this one. Gaiman, Ray, Briley Wright, Thomas Andrews, John Smeal, Jonathan Honebrink, Tommy Withers, and Patrick Allen. The 8 drivers in heat race number two. As we get ready to go here, here's what the information looks like on your screen. 85-degree track temperature is 123 degrees compared to 85 air temperature. 49% humidity, so it's a pretty dry heat, not so sticky as far as what engine temps are going to have to deal with. The track temperature going to be blistering for these tires. Winds 12 miles an hour in these cars. Not the most influential tactic in the world, but in more higher downforce machines, that is very relevant. 2.45 miles is a lap around Watkins Glen. This is the short version of the track, missing the boot section used for Grand Prix and endurance events. So as we get ready to go here. Getting 8 cars in this event. They go down the final big straightaway here. Again, so it looks like there's 7 cars here. Withers will not take the start of the heat race. So Allen will be alone in row number 4. Green flag in the air. Gaiman will lead us off. Andrews right. Smeal, Homebrink, Allen go through turn 1. And through the S's they go. Car in the wall. That's Homebrink with trouble. Looks like Smeal also in trouble as well. Oh, there's a lot of trouble on Smeal's car, too. Broken suspension there for John Smeal. Patrick Allen goes up to 5th. Lap 1 in the books. 2 to go. Gaiman with the huge lockup through turn 1. He goes really wide. And that actually might give Ray a little bit of something. Riley Wright still holding station in 3rd. Thomas Andrews in 4th. Aggressive curbing usage, and Andrews almost threw it away. But he still sits 4th. Patrick Allen in 5th. Smeal's in pit lane. Honebrink also in pit lane. Last lap in heat race number 2. Again, this determines the outside rows. Coming out of the final corner, Joshua Gaiman. He'll win heat race number 2 tonight. Looking for another race win before the playoffs begin. Patrick Allen will come home in the 5th position. John Smeal will come home in 6th. Alrighty, 4 cars in this last chance qualifier to determine the positions lower than 14th on the grid. This is for 15th through 18th is what it's determining here. Green flag in the air. We are racing for the last chance qualifier. Tunbreak, Alexander, Brayo, and Withers. And everyone on the outside row threw it really wide. 3 wide. Alexander got put in the wall, but he keeps it pointed straight. Brayo up to second as Withers tags the wall hard. The he'll spin around backwards. Brayo, we didn't see him at all in the first heat. But he is showing his pace here tonight in the last chance qualifier. Although, at the moment as it sits, he'll only qualify and start the race in 15th position as he goes to the carousel here. Ooh, Brayo almost lost it on the last lap. That'd be an interesting way to throw away a last chance qualifier. Held on to it. Really good save. And the Pittsfield, Massachusetts native will go through the S's and towards the bus stop here for the last time in the last chance qualifier. Brayo will take the last chance qualifier over home brink, with Alexander Withers not being able to finish the last chance qualifier. Now it's time for warm-up. Alrighty, it's time now for the main event of the evening. 45 laps, 110 miles here at Watkins Glen International at the foot of Seneca Lake in upstate New York. Toby Estes and Noah Belleville sit on the front row. Estes, a race winner of the season, two-time race winner of the season. Belleville still looking for his first race win on the season as he starts on the front row. He's been a contender just about everywhere he's been this season, looking for that one extra step here tonight. Jacob Blankenship and Joshua Gaiman will line up in row number 2. Row 3, Brendan Fetterplace and Donald Ray. Row 4 for Brendan Roberts and Briley Wright. Then you have Tom Sears and Thomas Andrews, Kevin Feenstra and Patrick Allen round out row number 6. Row number 7 is Ryan Pinnell and John Smeal. Jeremy Brayo in 15th. He'll line up alongside Jonathan Homebrink. Again, those in silver are already in the Next Gen playoffs. Jason Alexander and Tommy Withers make up row number 9. They are the last row on the grid as we get ready to go here in New York, Watkins Glen. But it's Estes on pole ahead of Belleville as you get ready to go. Alrighty, 45 laps set to be underway here. Pace car pulls in. 18 cars getting ready to go. Green flag in the air. We're racing at Watkins Glen, Estes and Belleville. The front row, and they'll hold the front row. Blankenship in third. Everyone scatters out of turn 1, but everyone's made it through turn 1 fairly clean. So we'll stay at it. Estes still leads ahead of Belleville, Blankenship, and Fetterplace. Fetterplace gained 1 spot over Gaiman. Estes on pole position, trying to walk away from Belleville. Belleville very competitive on the road courses especially. Road courses and short ovals, his specialty, and that number 41 for Prophecy Racing. As we get ready to go, Belleville, you see the extent of the track limits that Belleville's willing to use here. Coming out of the carousel. Through turn 6. And now approaching turn 7 to finish lap 1. Stage 1 will go until lap 10. Stage 2 will go until lap 24. And stage 3 will be from lap 24 to the end of this race. Estes right now 0.7 of a second over Belleville as they go towards the bus stop. So here we go. Both of them running wide of the curbing there out of turn 5, out of the carousel. As Gaiman battles with Blankenship a little bit further back here, side by side for third place. Gaiman moves up to third. He started in the 4th spot, lost a spot early on, but has made that up and then some as he moves into third place ahead of Blankenship and that number 85 machine. Keep an eye on the 5 of Don Ray, the Rockwall, Texas native for Team Outlaw, sitting in the top 5, doing a really good job ahead of Jeremy Brayo in 6th place. Brayo has dispatched of better place and of Bren Roberts. Roberts has spun around, and he is limping his way, I think, back to pit lane here. There is some damage on that number 58. Estes set the fast lap of the race, a 1:11.7 for the Greensburg, Kentucky native. We're about through the first half of stage 1. It's 1.9 the gap between Estes and Belleville. Gaiman's another second behind Belleville at the moment. As we get ready to go here through the carousel with Estes. We get ready to go on board with Estes here. Let's get on board shot of Toby Estes' machine. That's where everyone's at around here at Watkins Glen. Right on board with them here as he goes through turn 6 and now into turn 7. Big clean turn 1 there for Estes. Right on board from the top of his car here. We're starting lap 9. 2 to go in stage 1. Here's Noah Belleville. See what he's looking at as he has Gaiman right on his rear bumper. He's going to try to defend with his life. We've seen this before. We saw it at Indy for the road course race there just a few weeks ago. Belleville's got 2 weeks to win a race to get himself into the playoffs. So doing a job. That is, I believe, Hohenbrink that just went to pit lane. It is. But the final lap of stage 1 has begun. Belleville again holding on to second place. Here's a lap time between Belleville and Gaiman. The caution comes out to end stage 1. As is the winner of stage 1. Ooh. A little bit of contact there between Fetter Place and Ray as they went up the hill up to the S's. But stage 1 is complete. Everyone came down pit lane for this first set of stops. But mostly looks like fuel stops here for the top 4. Estes, Gaiman, Fetter Place, and Sears all fuel stops. And at Belleville, he took tires. Brayo took tires, and everyone further down took tires. Interesting games being played. All right, so we're getting ready to go here. So we'll see what this looks like here as we get ready to go. It's Estes, Gaiman, Fetter Place, Sears top 4, pace car is in. Green flag back in the air, we're racing once again to start stage number 2. The home brake, he's sitting behind. Patrick Allen sitting a little bit behind. Be Ryan Pinella, he's sitting behind. Tommy Withers and John Smeal as they battle for the 13th spot, 12th spot actually. Focusing a little bit further up ahead, there's Belleville, center of your screen, the 41. Between Jeremy Brayo and Tom Sears. Estes still trying to defend from Gaiman, who's still keeping with him. Belleville's dropped down to 7th place, as that's Hunterbrand coming out of pit lane. Keep an eye on Joshua Gaiman. He has gained time. Estes set the fastest lap that last lap, but Gaiman has set the fastest first and second sectors. Better Place just set first, the fastest sector 1 this time around. We'll see what sector 2 looks like. Better Place gaining time as well. Out of the carousel. Better Place faster still, not purple sector time. With Better Place the fastest of the top 3 so far through these first couple sectors. Sector 3 through turn 7. Tom Sears the fastest through sector 3 that time. Better Place now fastest lap. 111.1 for Better Place. Steers battling with Brayo here, fourth place. As Federal Place tries to close in the gap on the race leaders. You see Gaiman and Estes are really close together now. Gaiman to the point. See if Federal Place can make a move as well. .25 to go in the race. We are on lap 21 to 24 for stage 2. So 4 laps to go until stage 2 ends, and then we'll set up for stage 3. Gaiman out front, Estes in second, Federal Place in third. Gaiman's the fastest third sector there, purple sector 3 for Joshua Gaiman as he locks up and goes wide in turn 1. Little hot there for the 61, who's put the 19 right back in it with 3 to go in stage 2. This is really close for Toby Estes. He could try to send it. He won't. But he's close now. As they roll through turn 1, Estes using more of the curbing that time around than Gaiman. He's got to try to stay with Gaiman here so he can try to set up a move through the bus stop. You have 3 really big opportunities here at this track. In turn 1, in the bus stop, and going into turn 6. Not close enough there. He's staying close to him, which is a really good thing. Just, I don't know if it's close enough to make something happen here. Coming the 2 to go. We're on board with Estes momentarily. Gaiman seems to be really good out of turn 7. Not so hot through turn 1. The gap is now less than 2/10. And that was after Estes has already set the purple sector 3. So now momentum's on Estes' side with 2 to go in stage 2. Couldn't get him as Gaiman loses it. Estes regains the lead. Coming to the white flag in stage 2. Gaiman's got a wheel and deal to get that lead back. Is he going to be able to do it? That's the big question. I don't know if he can. Yellow comes out. So we were off by a lap on when stage 2 was ending. That's our mistake. But stage 2 ends now. With 21 laps to go in the race. It's Estes, then Gaiman, then Fetterplace, then Brayo, then Sears and Blankenship top 6. Belleville, Ray, Alexander, Andrews to round up the top 10, and those that score points in stage 2. Alrighty, we are 1 to green here at Watkins Glen to begin stage number 3. Brandon Fetterplace on the front row. He'll lead us to green alongside Jacob Blankenship, who is center of your screen right now. Noah Belleville in the second row. We'll be joined by Toby Estes with Josh Gaiman and Jeremy Brayo in row number 3. Row 4, Tom Sears and Donald Ray, teammates for Team Outlaw. Row 5, Jason Alexander and Thomas Andrews. Then you have Ryan Pinnell and Kevin Feemster in row 6. Tommy Withers, the last car on the lead lap, in row 7. Then you have Jonathan Homebrink, John Smeal, the last cars running so far. They're both a lap down. Patrick Allen, Bryn Roberts, and Briley Wright are out of this race. As you get ready to go, Fetterplace wants to lock himself into the A-squared playoffs here. As you get ready to go. Down the back straightaway. The lights on the Ford Mustang pace car are off. Means we're about to go racing. Withers, you see that Valvoline car in the back catching up to the field. As you get ready to go, 15 cars still running at the 18 that took the start. It's Fetterplace, Blankenship, Belleville, Estes, Gaiman, then Brayo and Ray. Pace car pulls in. It's on Fetterplace's control. We are racing at Watkins Glen. Once again, stage 3 underway. Very level between Fetterplace and Blankenship. A little bit of latency there from Blankenship as there's trouble in the back. Looks like Alexander is part of it. He is part of it. There's Feemster. And that looks like that was Homebrink that was also a part of it. Fetterplace holds on to the race lead. Two of the top 3 have yet to win. A win would put them in the playoffs, and that's what they desperately need. Ooh, keep an eye on Fetterplace. Almost lost it there. Fetterplace currently sits 28th in points. Belleville sits 23rd. So a win would help both of them tremendously get into the round of 16 when it begins at the beginning of September. Fetterplace needs to hold on for 16, coming to 15 more laps. Cincinnati native trying to lead this race. to the final 15 laps. Looks like right now at the moment he can do that. Blankenship has not been able to match his pace so far in this race. Better Place just set the fastest Sector 1 time. Blankenship's Sector 1 was faster that time around, was his personal best, but still not faster than Better Place as he almost loses it. He does lose position to Belleville. Really good save by Blankenship, but now he's going to deal with Brayo and Gaiman and Estes and Ray and Sears. That's not going to be fun. But that's the break that Belleville needed. Because now he can chase down Better Place. Now this is vital for both of them. Only one can win. But they're going to try to battle it out. Belleville's going to try to chase down Better Place enough here. He's got 2.5 seconds to chase down here to put himself in a position to attempt to win this race. Blankenship, I don't think, can do much about it. Belleville's just got to be calm and collected. Something we're not seeing out of the 85 at the moment, although he is holding up Brayo and Gaiman. So these two in front, the 80 of Better Place and the 41 of Belleville, can give it a shot. We'll see what can happen here. Again, this is the battle for third place now. 4 cars in this conversation. It's Blankenship, Brayo, Gaiman, and Estes in this 4-car fight for third. Belleville is closing the gap ever so slightly. 2.3 now is the gap. It was 2.5. As they all fan out beyond third place, beyond Blankenship. There's Gaiman trying to get to the inside and try to get around Brayo. Both of them were in the late race situation at Richmond, which saw Gaiman end up going into the wall off the nose of Seth Wansing. Wansing not present tonight. Both these drivers are. They're battling for 4th place. Side drafting there for 74 of Brayo as they go into turn 1. Pair of Ford Mustangs still side by side. Tough but clean racing between the two. These two very familiar with each other at this point. 2 race win leaders in a square. Brayo losing out that time to Gaiman, who now has opened up the door for Toby Estes as well to try to get in the top 5. That battle allowed Blankenship to sort of catch his breath because it held Gaiman up. Put a little bit of space between the two. Brayo holds on for 5th. And Belleville unable to do much to close the gap. 2.5 is what it's opened back up to once again. It was down to 2.3 for a second, but now it's opened back up. Better Place still holding on to the 2.5 second lead. As the laps tick down. 12 to go at the moment. They're coming to 11 to go. Better Place doing an incredible job so far. The better place again, sitting with 2 seconds and change in the hand. Belleville's closing it in a little bit, but both of them in a similar situation. They took largely, I think, fuel only that time around. So for them, it's really a matter of just surviving at the moment. You have to look at Gammon and Brayo, cars that took 4 tires, to see drivers that might try to make a charge here later on. But we're at 10 laps to go, and time is not cheap. Time is actually very expensive here at Watkins Glen. So Better Place sits with, again, a 2.5 second advantage. Belleville, he's been able to gain it momentarily, but he's not been able to hold it. He's not been able to hold any gains that he's making. It's sort of just slipped right back to 2.5. It'll drop down to 2.2, 2.3 here. 2.1, that's the lowest number we've seen in a while. But it'll open back up here out of the carousel going towards turns 6 and 7. Unless Belleville did put a heater in through Sector 1. And actually he did. Sector 2, 26.0 for Belleville, 26.5 for Better Place. So he did gain about half a second in that sector, but he lost the 10th in Sector 1. We'll see what the third sector looked like this lap, because it does come down to where you're strong and where you're not strong. 2.3. Sector 3, yeah. Better Place, 0.2 faster in Sector 3. Belleville needs to be faster everywhere, and he's not. That's the type of speed you're going to need to catch up to and pass Better Place with 9 laps to go. We'll see if Belleville can find it. Wasn't that way through Sector 1 this lap, but we'll see how Sector 2 goes. The bus stop's a very vital piece of the lap. And if you mess up the bus stop, chances are you're going to mess up the carousel as well, because you need a lot of momentum through the carousel. 2.1, 2.2 is the gap out of Sector 2. 0.2 in favor of Belleville. But then you have Sector 3, which is mostly just turns 6 and 7 that you have to kind of work on. Better Place runs a little bit wider. Belleville keeps it a little bit away from the wall, but a little bit of a step out. 0.1 in favor of Better Place. It's all the little things that matter right now. 8 to go. And going wide like that in turn 1 is not going to help Belleville's case. We saw that off in the distance behind Better Place. Ooh, watch out, watch out, watch out. That's blanket chip off in the grass. Oh, it's going to be trouble, and that is trouble. In the battle for third. Seven laps to go here in Watkins Glen. Better Place, 2.1 to the good. Gap has closed significantly. Belleville just set his best Sector 1. And Sector 2, again, half a second in favor of Belleville. Six to go. It opened right back up to two seconds. And why is that? It's because Sector 3, 4/10 slower for Belleville. All the time that he had worked on gaining, he gave up in 2 corners. Let's Smeel ahead. See if he gets out. Oh, it's going to be a trouble for Fetter Place. Oh, dear. That is really what Fetter Place did not need. 1.3 is the gap now. That was not what Fetter Place needed. Five to go. 1.1 is the gap. There will be a new first-time winner this season. It's a matter of who. Better Place or Belleville. 1.2 is the gap with 5 to go. But we're entering Belleville's best sector on the track. Better Place has to be aggressive here a little bit. You do not want Belleville to start getting draft. There's 3 long straightaways here. For Belleville, it's his job just to not worry about don't worry about Fetter Place, just worry about hitting your marks. That's been the biggest thing. Is just hit your marks. 4 laps to go. Better Place faster that lap by 0.2. And it shows. Four to go. 1.4 is the gap. Does Belleville have enough in it to try to chase him down? He needs to gain 0.4 and 3 laps to get to him for an attempt at a last lap pass. Oh, Belleville really messed up the bus stop there. How he saved that, I have no idea. 1.6 the gap. 1.16 the gap, excuse me. As they go into turn 6. This has been his kryptonite. He's lost the most time here every lap the past 7 laps. Didn't lose it there. Can he nail it home here? A lot cleaner that time around. It's 1.1. 1.2. That was his best Sector 2. 25.9 in Sector 2. And their Sector 3 is nearly identical. 3 to go. Belleville sees it. And he probably felt that that was his best Sector 3 as well. Because it was. And these two have waltzed away from the rest of the field. There's the battle for third, already all the way down the straightaway. Something happened with Gaiman. He lost a second of time. But they've been duking it out heavily for third place here. Coming to 2 laps to go. Better Place still leads over Belleville, but there is lap traffic. That is, I believe, Bryn Roberts. I think it is the 58 of Bryn Roberts. It is the 58 of Bryn Roberts. See if he plays a factor with 2 laps to go in this race. Belleville has not gained any more time. In fact, Better Place matched Belleville's Sector 2 time that lap, identical to the 1,000th. Belleville was faster in Sector 3 that time, but Better Place faster in Sector 1. Going up the hill through the S's. What does their Sector 1 times look like now? Belleville faster here. That 1 second even. It's less than a second for the first time with 2 to go. Ooh, this is going to be close. Belleville, he can't let it slip out like that. You don't want to run wide like that. You spend more time out of the draft when you do. Better Place trying to play it easy, trying to play it safe. Belleville throwing everything at the wind. He's going wild, and it's costing him time. He got within 7/10, but he couldn't hold on to it, so now it's back to 9/10. White flag in the air, 1 lap to go. Better Place has to hold on for 2.4 miles. Can he do it? Nine-tenths is still the gap. Going up the hill, Belleville has draft. That is the important factor. There's 2 more zones where you can try to make something happen. He's entering one of those zones now. Better Place leads into the bus stop for the final time. The gap is half a second. Belleville through the grass. And that will just about do it. Belleville pushing too hard the last 3 laps. And it's bit him here. All that time is gone. And Belleville will have to settle for second here. Better Place was giving him the opportunity, and Belleville was just way too greedy. Clutch hands in the hands of the number 80. It's Brandon Fetterplace out of the final corner. He's a first-time race winner. He wins at Watkins Glen. Belleville will have to settle for another second place. Breed getting the best of him here, keeping him from another race win. Brayo rounds out the podium. Gaiman in 4th. Almost got right back to Brayo at the end of the race there. This is the battle for the 10th spot. Top 10 on the line between Kevin Feemster in the 1 and Ryan Pinnell in 12. They approach turn 6. Is Pinnell going to send it? Feemster may have overcooked it. He did overcook it. Pinnell trying to get underneath of him. But Feemster will hold on to 10th place. Really good drive there as they come across the line on the lead lap here. Blankenship's already finished, I believe. Yeah, he was a lap down. Brandon Fetterplace, your race winner. Really good job by Fetterplace. He's earned it. And he's earned it. Brandon Fetterplace, a winner in the A Squared Cup Series for the first time. What a result for him, and what an effort by Belleville to try to win the race. But again, settling for second place here. Really good job by Federer Place. Phenomenal job. Actually, it looks like we're going to interview him first here. Brandon, this is Clayton from the RX Racing booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty. A race win, which is what you needed at just the right time. We knew you were going to be quick. That 80 car's been pretty consistently quick across the board. You got the race win. Believe that puts you in the playoffs based on where you're at in the points position at the moment. So that gives you a really good run for it. How you feeling? That was a really good battle there through stage 3.
Oh man, dude, I'm beside myself right now. That I drove my absolute hardest that I could. I'm sweating like crazy. The 41, I mean, just everybody tonight was fast. What happened to the who won stage 1?
If you're talking about Toby Estes, he just couldn't. He was mired in traffic. Because I believe I think Estes or Gaiman won stage 1. Gaiman was battling with Brayo for third place most of stage 3, and Estes, I think strategy just didn't play in his favor. He ended up finishing 7th.
Man, that 19 car was bad fast early. So I mean, I had a bad practice. So for me, I didn't expect a whole lot. But as this run went on, the more confident I got, the harder I drove. And man, what can I say?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun watching you battling because like we were comparing you to Noah in second place. As that run went on, like Noah had really a really good chance in sector 2 where the bus stop was, but you were really lights out on sector 3, turn 6 and 7, and all of that really added up there. That strategy call, like that last pit stop in stage 3, was it a fuel only stop or did you take 2 tires? Like what was the strategy call there, and how did it work out for you? How did you feel going through the stage?
So, I ran a couple races here through the week, and I come to find out that the tire fall off here is not that bad. So as long as you don't just murder your car, you can make it without tires. So that's what I did. I decided to try it this race, and it seemed to work out for me. I took fuel only.
Well, it paid off because we saw the drivers that took the 4 tires there in the last pit stop. Brayo finished 3rd. Obviously, Gaiman was 4th, 5th for Donald Ray. So the no tires on the fuel only paid off there. Looking at the next week's going to be wild, and for you, it's less of a concern now because now you've got that race win before Daytona. You're not having to race crazy. Going into the last race of the regular season. Just going into next week knowing that you've done your job, you've done your best, you've got that race win. How much of a stress relief is it knowing that next week you're just like, okay, just get results, just get points and head into the playoffs here?
It's huge. I have terrible luck at super speedways. I don't believe I've ever finished in the top 10 at one. I'm always being caught up in either bad pit strategies or in someone else's mess. So I am hugely grateful that I don't have to, I can just kind of relax, do my race. Hopefully I finish well, but I don't need a win there.
Obviously, I think we've had you on the podium before, but it's been a little bit. But obviously, feel free to shout out anyone you want to shout out. You a race winner, finally an 8th grade. It feels like it's been coming for a while. You finally done it. You're a winner. And now it's a clear sailing on through Daytona, and as we get ready for the playoffs here. First race of the playoffs. If I double check everything correctly, first race of the playoffs is Darlington. So you get to prepare for that and sort of just breeze through Daytona here.
Oh, yeah, man. I'd like to, obviously, first and foremost, all the people that watch the broadcast, thanks to my friends and family for watching. thanks to my team for all the practice I've done during the week. It's really helped me out. Thanks to you, the broadcaster, and thanks to everybody who was racing me pretty clean out there. Hopefully we can do it again next week.
Well, again, phenomenal result. You're a race winner here in the A Squared Cup Series. Job well done here at Watkins Glen, Brandon. Congratulations. We'll see you next week, man.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
Have a good one.
You too.
That was Brandon Fetterplace, our race winner here at Watkins Glen. We're going to take a second here to get ready for Noah Belleville, our second place finisher, and then we'll interview Jeremy Brayo, our third place finisher, after that. So give us just a second. Ready. Peyton, Noah, this is Glenn from the ARX Racing booth. You got a copy?
I got you.
Alrighty. So close again. A wild last stint there, wild final stage there. You could tell that you were pushing there a little bit. It seemed like both you and Brandon were on a very good strategy call. You both were there. You guys had the same strategy call. Both of you had the same strategy as Toby, and it worked out for you better than it did for Toby. Phil only stopped there going through those last 20 laps or so. How did you feel, and when did it all sort of really click? Because you started really shaving time off there.
Yeah, I actually took 2 tires on that stop and 2 lefts, and yeah, that last 20 laps I was really pushing. I think I was sideways about every lap, but yeah, I think when I cleared because Blankenship messed up the bus stop, and I cleared him pretty easily for second, and I think Better Place was about 3 seconds in front of me when I got in the second. And over that whole entire last run, I shaved it down to about 0.8 whenever we crossed the white flag. But he was pretty much better than me everywhere except the bus stop. The bus stop was definitely where I was making my ground. And so I knew going into that last lap that if I wanted to get him, it was going to have to be in the bus stop. And so, I mean, I threw that thing in there and got in the grass and lost about a second. So, but it was kind of my only chance. If I didn't get to within like a bump and run distance in the bus stop, I wasn't gonna have a shot. And but yeah, good on Better Place. He drove the wheels off that thing. I was driving the wheels off that thing. I pretty much towards the last 10 laps, I just didn't even care anymore, and I wasn't trying to make sure I didn't spin or anything. I was just hammer down. If it got loose, I was just gonna try and correct it the best I could. But yeah, it was insane. And but yeah, kind of disappointing to come up just shy once again. I think this is what 4 second places now or something.
Yeah, something like that. It's not the most pleasant thing in the world, and now it's sort of up to Daytona now, and we know how chaotic Daytona is. It was obviously a lot of fun seeing you and Brandon, 2 drivers that hadn't won this season, try to duke it out for the lock in for the playoffs. But now Daytona's next week. It's your last chance really to sort of step in. How are you feeling? Do you feel like you've got that chance to really try to go out and win that race? How do you feel going into that race next week, knowing that it is sort of a do or die moment?
Yeah, not the most confident. I mean, I run pretty well at super speedways. I know how to run them good. Uh, but I won't have very many friends because like I've been hearing a lot of people don't want to push me because, well, if I win, that shakes the playoffs up a bunch, and a lot of those guys are on the cutoff line. Heck, Toby, remember Michigan? He was a lap down, and kind of Cody got by, and he held me up a bit. And I asked him after why he was racing me so hard when he was a lap down in the final laps, and he was like, "Man, I just can't let you win. You know, you get a win, then that's gonna knock some of my teammates out of the playoffs." So, I mean, makes sense. You know, they got to do their thing. I got to do mine. But you want friends when you go to these plate races, and I probably won't have many, so I'll just try and stick to myself. But yeah, it's good. It's gonna be hard.
Hey, maybe the situation has changed for Toby and everybody because all three of their primary drivers there. Yeah, Toby's locked in based on points. Well, Toby's won. Bradley's locked in based on points, and Dave is locked in based on points. So maybe the situation is different now.
Yeah.
But yeah, now it's down to one spot, and it's gonna be intense.
Yeah, and the other
Honestly,
thing is like with uh shoot, I forgot what I was gonna say.
no, you're good. You think about. I think, and I think it's justified. Like you are going to be like if you win next week, you are one. Even if you don't win, you're going to take wins away from people. I think you're going to get one this season. It's just a matter of when. You are a genuine threat. When we're saying like, hey, you're disappointed with second place. It's a wild time. So Daytona is going to be an interesting trip. See what all happens at Daytona because realistically anybody in the top 28 not already with a win could win that race and really make things a lot easier. You know, you entered this race 23rd in points, and I know you gained on Jimkowski and Feimster, so you're probably closer to 20th now. But that's still a lot of points you have to make up in one race. A win would have to do it. So if for some reason it doesn't happen, looking into the playoffs here, obviously you start with Darlington in the playoffs, and then Kansas and Bristol. You're kind of our short oval king in a way, because you're always a threat in those, and you've been a threat in all the road courses. Looking at those races, you know, if for some reason the playoff charge doesn't, if the Cinderella story doesn't come to fruition, you know, what races are you looking forward to the most coming up?
Yeah. One of them I'm really looking forward to is Bristol, just because it's Bristol. I mean, who doesn't love running Bristol? And but yeah, there's and Homestead. Homestead's a fun one with the whole the High Line running the wall. That's always a good time. A lot of good tracks in the playoffs. But yeah, and I remember what I was gonna say. With me going into this race, I needed I think 91 points to catch up to 20th to have the win count towards the playoffs. And I made a good chunk up of it in this race, but because of that, I can't just play it safe and run in the back during Daytona because I have to run up and try and get stage points if I want to make top 20. So that's going to be even riskier. And normally at these plate tracks, I run in the back. I did it at Atlanta. I did it at Talladega. Just kind of stay in the back the first two stages and then charge in the last stage. But I'm not going to be able to do that at Daytona. So it's going to be an extra challenge.
Yeah, it's gonna be a challenge, but you've had plenty of challenges come before you, and obviously, had you have made it to Richmond last week, it may have been an even more different story there. Um, but still, a phenomenal second place and a phenomenal race. You were a contender all race long. It seemed like you were always top five all race. So there's a lot of things to be really kind of proud of tonight. Before we let you go for tonight, if there's anyone you want to shout out, obviously your family was watching. They normally do. In fact, your grandmother was in the chat. But if there's anyone you want to shout out or say thank you to, the floor is yours, Noah. You did a phenomenal job, second place, with one race to go in the regular season.
Yeah, shout out to them and shout out to you as always, putting on the streams. I always enjoy going and watching those. And also shout out to Fetter Place. He put on a heck of a show trying to hold me off there. Very impressive. And he's gonna be if he runs the races because now he's locked into the I think he's locked into the playoffs. I don't know where he is in the regular points, but if he runs the races, he's gonna be a threat because he's always been fast. And yeah, and shout out to Arcs for putting on the races. It was a fun race and can't wait for Daytona next week. Do some pack racing. And yeah.
Well, no, it's fun watching you race as always. Always kind of seeing what you can do here and seeing the tips and tricks you sort of pull off here. you guys were both the class of the field. 7 seconds between you and Jeremy Brayo, who's won 6 races this season. That's no slouch. So congrats on that again. And good luck at Daytona.
Yep.
Have a good night, man.
You too.
Alrighty, that's Noah Belvo, our second place finisher. Obviously gutted that he couldn't get that race win that he desperately needed here. A second place leaves him just outside where he wants to be going into the last race of the regular season. Last up, Jeremy Brayo, third place finisher here tonight. Jeremy, this is Clayton from the Eric's Racing booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
That was an interesting race. Obviously, you had a really good battle there with Joshua Gaiman. I know Jacob Blankenship was in that battle for a little bit with you, so was Toby Estes. Very good result there, but it seems like taking tires wasn't quite the best strategy. What was going on in that third stage that made the tires so hard to hook up?
Maybe we weren't getting enough temperature to them, or they just didn't wear enough. But every time I would go in, they weren't like more than like 5 or 6% worn in. So maybe it was that. Maybe they don't come in until about 80 to 70%. But from the time that I had with it, which wasn't very much time, I just kind of felt that the longer it went, the worse it got. So I don't know how some of these guys were going that long on tires, and it was getting better. So that was pretty interesting to hear that people were actually getting better the longer the tires are on. So yeah.
Well, I think part of it might have been the temperature, because when we started the race, the track temp was about 123, and it dropped up 106 at the end there. So maybe maybe the heat had something to do with it. But you and Josh had a hell of a battle for third place there. Absolutely crazy. Obviously, you and Josh, two of the winningest drivers in the season so far. Between you, 10 race wins, which is insane. Watkins, Glen out of the way. Daytona kind of squaring up now. Obviously, Team Sideswipe, you're going to have just about the full armada on your side there with Ryan and Seth and maybe Cody Pinnell there, and then obviously you and who knows, John Smeal is another one. I know we mentioned it last week that sort of just you race it out and whatever happens, but going through Watkins Glen, getting ready for the playoffs, like how important are those bonus points, stage points and playoff points going into the first round, because you got Darlington, Kansas, and Bristol, where it will be chaos.
Yeah. I mean, the stage points are going to be important, but I'm not. It's kind of like I told you last week when you asked me about Daytona. I'm not too worried about it. I'm more worried about making it to the end where they pay out the full points. So, it'd be cool to get a stage point here and there, but if I'm not in the opportunity to do so, I'm not going to wreck my car just to get 1 point. I'd rather get 5 points at the end than, getting a stage point. So, but yeah, Daytona, it's going to be wild.
100% going to be wild. You also say about Daytona next week, it's the last race for the playoffs. A lot of drivers still need a win to get in. Obviously, Noah's one of those drivers that is really right there on that cut line. Thomas Andrews in that line. Tommy Withers is also in that position. Catania, who I don't think was here tonight. A lot. Do you expect next week to be crazier than normal?
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm glad the Real Cup guys get to go before us, because we get to see how crazy they get. But yeah, it's going to be a fight between those 6 guys that you mentioned. I think it's going to be absolutely nuts, and I don't think nothing against them, but I think they're going to be going balls to the walls, and I don't really want to be around them if it's like midway through the race and they're just going 3 wide and shoving each other out of the way and shoving each other out of line, trying to be in front of each other. But if they at least play it smart, I think you'll see a pretty good race. But I'm kind of worried that we're going to watch an entire race go by under caution, just because of the desperation. Yeah. But usually we're good about super speedway races here, so I hope we put on a good show, but I'm kind of worried on the other end because people need to win to get in, and there's a lot of guys that need to win to get that final spot.
Yeah, Daytona's going to be absolutely wild. Obviously, for you, not a concern. Even if for some reason someone like Josh Gaiman wins, you're still going to have more bonus points than him going into the playoffs there. Sort of asked this a couple times earlier in the last couple races. Looking at the schedule, Darlington, Kansas, Bristol, the first 3 races of the playoffs. Then you have Texas, Talladega, and Charlotte. It's obviously still a win in your end situation to get into the next round. Which of those races sort of scream out to you that going like beyond Daytona? Which one's like, okay, I can get this one for sure?
So what were they again?
Darlington, Kansas, and Bristol's the first round.
I have not driven the next gen on this on the concrete Bristol, but I'd like to think I could do pretty good there. Kansas, the last time we were there, we didn't have the new car. Well, we
Yeah.
had these cars, but we didn't have the new updated version of them. So I don't know. That could be a wild card. We haven't gone to a mile and a half yet with these cars or with the updated cars, so that'll be something new for us.
You're right, we haven't, have we?
No, we
Because
haven't.
it was after Charlotte. Oh wow, it was after Charlotte. Because it was for Gateway.
Yeah.
Oh, so,
No,
yeah, we
it
are
was
kind of in the unknown.
for Gateway, yeah. But yeah, I think that'll be an interesting one to see how the cars handle there. But Darlington's kind of my mulligan. I don't expect to do good there. I kind of expect to be 10th to 15th there because I'm not very good at Darlington. So the faster we get through there, the faster I'll probably have a better time through the playoffs.
Well, obviously, like at 6 wins this season, I expect you to do kind of you're going to be consistently great. I can't think of a race recently where you've not been top 10 except for Indy. So it's bodes well when I'm like, when did you not finish top 10? And the only race is a race that you kind of fell off on your own. But going forward, Daytona's next week, stress free for you for the most part because it's kind of just you get to watch the chaos.
Yeah.
Any idea? Kind of pick your favorite here. We'll kind of end it here. Pick who you think has, I think, the best chance of winning. Who do you think has that patience to sort of just wait it out?
Patience.
Yeah, it's a hard question for some people. Yeah,
I would say Andrews would be the most patient. He knows how to mind his P's and Q's when we're in most races, so I expect him to be the most patient. But the most aggressive, I would have to say, would be a tie between 3 people, and that would be Smeal, Tristrand, and Noah. Noah needs, and I looked this up before we started talking, he needs to win and then have, I believe, who is it? He was in the race. I forget his name. Feemster. He needs to have Feemster finish like dead last or something like that, but he needs to win, or Feemster just doesn't show up. But Feemster can make it. I don't know how he is on super speedways, so my guess would be I'll put him in the quieter people in the super speedways. But
I don't think I've seen him in the play. I don't think I've seen him plate race either. That's a really he's a dark horse potentially. And I overlooked Dustin Painter completely. Obviously he wasn't here tonight, but he's easily a contender,
he could win. Yeah,
that's a really good point.
He was like third, at Dega?
Yeah, it was a 1, 2, 3 for Outlaw. Yeah, and
so
they've won every plate race. That's a really good point. Yeah, going forward, it's going to be interesting. Obviously, for you, it's more of we'll see how the first 2 stages go. But it's going to be a lot of fun. And nonetheless, just to see how everyone handles it, it's going to be a chess match. But, going forward, I mean, a big team there before we let you go. If there's anyone you want to shout out, anyone to say thank you to, really early night here at Watkins Glen, so you kind of get some time to actually relax before having to sort of reset for the week. But the floor is yours. Congrats on a really hard-fought 3rd place there with Joshua Gaiman there.
Thank you. So, first of all, we got to thank Smeal Racing Designs. Best paint schemes on on the service, so go check them out. Gotta thank Midwest Barbecue. They have the best, and when I mean the best smokers in the business. So go check them out, MidwestBarbecue.com, and gotta thank you for putting on the broadcast and not dropping us because we didn't run 1 week. So thanks for keeping with us.
No problem. I was waiting for that. It's fantastic being here. It's fantastic being able to watch everyone race. Really good race tonight. Obviously, the race throughout the field. Obviously, the battle for 10th between Fumes and Fennell, we got to see at the end. Really good racing here. It's always fun being here at Watkins Glen. Can't wait to see what happens at Daytona next week. Again, thanks. Congrats on the 3rd place, and we'll see what happens at Daytona next week.
Alrighty, thank you, buddy.
Have a good night, man.
You too.
All right, that was Jeremy Brayo, our 3rd place finisher here tonight. We'll go over the results one more time before we sign off for the night. Here is what the results look like. Brandon Fetterplace, race winner here in Watkins Glen. Noah Belleville has to deal with the 2nd place finish. Then Jeremy Brayo in 3rd. Joshua Gaiman in 4th. Donald Ray 5th. Then you have Tom Sears, Toby Estes 6th and 7th. Thomas Andrews in 8th. 9th for Tommy Withers. And Kevin Feemster in the 10th spot, rounding out the top 10. Then Ryan Pinnell, Jacob Blankenship, John Smeal, top 13. Those are the ones that finished the race. Jason Alexander retired. He finished 14th. Then it was Jonathan Homebrink, Patrick Allen, Bryn Roberts, and Briley Wright finishing out the field of 18 here tonight. Next week, it's Daytona. You either love it or you fear it. There's no in between. And for some, it's their last chance in. It's the A Squared Cup Series playoff. But until then, I'm Clayton Hardy on behalf of Arcs Racing Networks, Darkside Mustangs, Midwest Barbecue, and Windy Chevrolet. We'll see you next week at Daytona. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, have fun. We'll see you next time.